Hey, this is Watertown 365. Can we tell you about COVID vaccine clinics? Can we tell you about new drive-thru innovations and opportunities that are happening in the area? Can we tell you about a volunteer transportation center and so much more? Well, it is time for Watertown 365. It is that time of day, that time of week. We are jumping into news about CrossFit. We are jumping into news about COVID-19 deaths, and let's begin by talking about how CrossFit business eyes a move to Route 202. We're bringing up on the web browser here. So Jerry Vecchio is moving his CrossFit business across town to a building he will own on Route 202 in the town of Watertown. He plans to construct an 8,400 square foot building, that is, at lot number 1 near the Watertown Fire Department station on Route 202. For several years, he's been operating out of a rented location behind the McDonald's on State Street, but it's time for him to own a building where Star Spangled CrossFit will call home. So there was some planning board issues, there was a public hearing, and now he's waiting to receive some building materials that have been delayed by the national supply chain shortage. And Jerry Vecchio hopes to start pouring concrete for the project early next month, complete the shell for the wood frame, steel building over the winter, and open the gym next spring. So I'm not exactly sure what CrossFit is, but that's why Google exists. But if you know what CrossFit is, if you're a fan and you are excited by the new CrossFit location on Route 202, that is the up-to-the-minute building code and building materials news that you come to us for at Watertown 365. So, new CrossFit location called Star Spangled CrossFit that is moving from the McDonald's on State Street over by the fire station on Route 202. Next, let's talk about vaccine clinics, especially for kids 6 months to 5 years. So you might have remembered when these vaccines were rolling out, they were saying it's first it was like age 60 and up and first responders and up, then age 50 and up, and then they decreased the age down to teenagers, down to kids. So now the COVID vaccines are available from 6 months to 5 years. The Jefferson County Public Health Service has scheduled 2 COVID-19 vaccination clinics this week for children aged 6 months to 5 years old. The CDC is now recommending that everyone age 6 months and older receive a primary series of coronavirus vaccinations. This is effective June 18th. Children ages 6 months through 4 years old were added to pediatric vaccine approval. So, what does this mean for you and for us and here locally in the county? Here are the exact details. The county will host a Moderna clinic from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday at Jefferson County Public Health Service, 531 Meade Street, and second shots will be given on August 4th. Appointments for the second dose will be scheduled at Thursday's clinic. So that is for the Moderna vaccine. And then, so me personally, I'm giving whatever vaccine, 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, whatever, just whatever there is available. But if you're the kind of person that does your research and you say, I want this or that vaccine, so that was the Moderna information. Now the Pfizer clinic is from 1:30 to 3:30 Thursday, also at Public Health, and then second shots will be given on July 28th, and appointments for the second dose will be scheduled at Thursday's clinic. Then the third shots will be 8 weeks later, with the clinic date and time to be determined. And so with this vaccination thing, they do a 15 minutes waiting period afterwards. So you get your shot, or your kid gets their shot, and you wait around for 15 minutes, and you get monitored just in case there's a problem with fainting or lightheadedness or whatever it is. That way you're right there and you don't just get in the car and drive and leave. That way you just wait around for those 15 minutes to see if there's any kind of reaction, and then if there's not, then you're good to go. So that's all a lot of information, but what does it mean for you as far as where you need to go and dial in this appointment or figure out where to go? It's jcphs.com That is the official website of Jefferson County. So it's just jcphs.org, and it drops you right in here where you can get the information you need to know. If you're saying, I'm not sure about who to listen to or misinformation, just go directly to the local government website to see what they have about COVID-19 data, vaccination, testing, isolation, and quarantine. It's right there. That is jcphs.org. Don't listen to any one person or any one news source. Just go directly to the local government website and figure out where to get your vaccine appointment right there. Now, speaking of local government, in Jefferson County specifically, the Volunteer Transportation Center launched mobility management on May 1st in an effort to improve access to transportation in Jefferson County. Let's jump right into that news story and figure out what that is all about. So what has happened here is that there are more than 50 human service agencies, employers, educators, and residents who had developed the Jefferson County Coordinated Transportation Plan. The plan was prepared to identify cost-effective approaches to address public transportation gaps, minimize the duplication of transportation services, and help improve the coordination of transportation services for persons with disabilities, older residents, college students, and Jefferson County residents seeking access to employment, education, medical appointments, food sources, recreation, and social destinations. So there is a proposed system that will be operated by a third-party transportation vendor, as is done in Lewis County, which contracts Bernie bus service. So, a lot of planning, a lot of bureaucracy. What does it mean? It means that starting in August, public input sessions will be held throughout Jefferson County to gather information on what residents need access to and the times and days they need access. Once that data has been collected, work can begin on drafting potential routes. Then a formal draft would be presented to the Jefferson County Legislature. The goal is to have a system online as early as 2024. And as with the previous news story, there is a website, and as with the previous news story, it is a hard to remember acronym, but it is WJCTC.org. This is the Watertown Jefferson County Area Transportation Council Metropolitan Planning Organization. Try saying that 3 times fast. But it may not be exciting, it may not be action-packed, but if you wonder how bus routes get to where they are, if you wonder like who made it that way and who made it in that map and who made it in that schedule, this is how these things get made. So if your bus route is lacking, if you say, man, it would be great if there was a stop right there, right near my house, or over where I need to be sometimes, this is your chance to speak up. It's a slow process, but it's how you can speak up. WJCTC.org. Go here, and while you're at it, you can click over at Watertown MPO, and then just click on the, well, I'm not logged in, but you can click on the follow button to get these updates, so that way when there's a meeting you can participate. And these days, with things being online and with Zoom and on the phone, it's convenient for you to attend these local government meetings and speak up and get your voice heard as far as where you personally think there is lacking bus route, where this is important for especially like the elderly population, where they can't get around easily, they can't walk very far, they can't drive in many cases. Sometimes they rely on buses, shuttles, light rail trains. So this is your chance to speak up about your opinion, your thoughts on public transportation. Now, speaking of convenience, let's talk about the drive-thru window craze, especially right here in Watertown and in Jefferson County. So Watertown restaurants have moved to the drive-thru window craze. And the next business on the batting order is the Taco Bell on Arsenal Street. Taco Bell on Arsenal Street will be the third local fast food restaurant, adding another drive-thru window in response to changing market patterns following the pandemic. The local Taco Bell is going through the approval process with both the city and Jefferson County planning boards to create a second drive-up window. And so I'm not sure, I'm hoping that this means that there will be like a drive-through window on either side, because if you've ever gone to a fast food place with two drive-through lanes, man, it zooms by. And there was even, since we're just on a tangent real quick about Taco Bell, they've been playing around with these crazy amazing concepts here. Well, there's this one with the drive-through lanes, but there's other ones where the store is up above and they use these pneumatic tubes to send your food down. And who knows what the final result will look like, but we are living in the future. This is what we are currently experiencing, living in, are these innovations in food and in convenience. But it doesn't end with just Taco Bell, because Chipotle Mexican Grill is also adding a drive-through window at their restaurant in City Center. Customers will soon be able to order their burritos and other Mexican-inspired meals from Chipotle without getting out of their vehicles. Customers will place their orders through the Chipotle mobile app or website, then pick them up in what the national restaurant chain calls a Chipotle lane without having to leave their cars. And just down the street, the Panera Bread restaurant is relocating to a former TGI Fridays just because it wants to add the capability of a drive-through window. So everybody wins in this case, right? Because the restaurant, the business, they want you to get you in and out as quickly as possible, right? They want to give you your food and get your money, and you, of course, want to give your money and get your food as quickly as possible. So many fast food chains are creating these drive-through windows specifically dedicated to accommodate customers wanting to use mobile apps to order food without getting out of the vehicles. The goal is to serve customers as quickly as possible, and these mobile apps that these customers are ordering on provide loyalty perks for special discounts and deals, and these changes in technology have helped chains move to the app features. And check out this crazy story too. Still relevant, but in an effort to serve customers faster, Taco Bell recently opened a location in Minnesota with 4 lanes and a vertical lift that transports food items from the kitchen to customers. So a 4-lane drive-thru. Imagine that. It's not just a toll booth, not just a gas station. It is a place to get your food. So let's talk about COVID-19 deaths. The Tri-County area recorded 4 COVID-19 deaths in June. So any death is bad, but the numbers are still good from when they were, like a year or two ago. So Jefferson County released its monthly COVID-19 index on Friday, because we're no longer doing the daily or weekly reporting. It's monthly now. So here are the numbers. Here are the test results, so to speak. The county logged 481 positive coronavirus test results in the month of June. 1 person died from complications of COVID-19. St. Lawrence County since Tuesday logged 53 new cases, bringing active cases to 77. 2 additional deaths in St. Lawrence County in June, and 2 people hospitalized with COVID-19 last week. Both people were admitted for another reason and incidentally tested positive for the coronavirus. Lewis County reported 2 new cases Friday and no hospitalizations. 1 person in the county died of COVID-19 in June. The county has experienced 53 COVID-19 deaths since the start of the pandemic. Now, the CDC lists all 3 counties as having a low community level based on hospital admissions and hospital beds being used and the number of COVID-19 cases. So keep it up, be careful. Low community level, but it's still out there. Speaking of things that are out there, perioptical. Let's talk about periopticalny.com. When you feel some pain in your eyes and you can't see clearly, then you need to pay your eye doctor a visit. Wondering where to find quality eye care service in Jefferson County? Perioptical team has been helping the North Country see better for more than 30 years. Perioptical is catering to families and individuals specializing in patients with special needs and clients who may be hard to fit for glasses or contacts. That is periopticalny.com. You can see their hours, their address, their phone number, their email, all that information, perryopticalny.com. That is the place to go. Go there now. You'll be glad you did. Speaking of places that you'll be glad you went, the Sackett's Harbor Ballroom. Remodeled and refurbished in 2018, SackettsHarborBallroom.com. This event venue provides you with a marvelous atmosphere to hold your event, whether it be a wedding, reception, meeting, educational event, family celebration, or Christmas party. Sackett's Harbor offers a unique, clean, accessible, and affordable facility to hold your public or private event. They are your one-stop destination for any event requirement. They are at 103 West Main Street, but the website's always the hub. That's the easiest place to go, so SackettsHarborBallroom.com. Speaking of websites, speaking of places where you should go, Watertown365.com. This is where you will discover about how the U.S. is seeking to protect the largest underwater canyon off New York City for a marine sanctuary, where a U.S. state park unveils a new trail made of illegally dumped tires, where this New York State decides food trucks do not need additional fire safety equipment. You will find out about how the new Stewart's on Washington Street gets its final approval, and so much more. That is Watertown 365. You can find out about the Watertown concert in the park from 4th of July weekend, how that went. There were America the Beautiful performances, selections from Apollo 13, Star Wars, and Star Trek. There was artificial photosynthesis that can produce more food in the dark than with sunshine. That news we reported last week about how the YMCA closed that 109-year-old downtown pool. And the place to connect with us on social media is at facebook.com/Watertown365. You go there and you can participate in the conversation. You can find out about National Chocolate with Almonds Day, National Dive Bar Day, National Fried Chicken Day. One more for the road. Let's see what there is, what you're missing out on if you don't like and subscribe and comment on Watertown 365. National Bikini Day. And I assume that before that, July 4th was National Caesar Salad Day. So here you go, Watertown 365, facebook.com/Watertown 365. You can find out about how comedy is back in Sackett's Harbor, and you can just jump in on this conversation, facebook.com/Watertown 365 and Watertown365.com. Go there now. We'll see you there, and we will see you next time when we have more news to report. Talk then, and have a wonderful week.